Lulu, you know, if you time the shield well, and this is like, it's something that sounds so easy, but it's actually like quite difficult. You need to time the shield properly to negate the majority of the burst, because that shield goes down like a second too late. Everything from the Lucian Nami has already been expended, and then you just sat with 200 less HP and then a random shield.
And as a Floor gets poked by the stick a couple times from Andor, they don't trade. They know the information. They go in for a wall with a bit of extra control.
I'm looking now to see like where the rest of the priority from Uniq goes, right? We've got Nihu's opted into this lethal tempo build, which is the really hard scaling on hit style of Varus that we're not like looking towards for a really hard hitting mid game spike. Could hit a 2-item one and be fairly powerful all the same, but it's not going to be quite the same as the 1-item come on of Remix and Baloo. So like I highlighted in the draft, my real selling point for this, how this game is going to go, is whether or not Native can hit that spike super hard and hit the ground running with it, or if we're just going to see them slowly struggle their way through the early stages and then just have a more potent bot lane as it goes.
It's definitely something we'll be keeping our eyes on. I'll be keeping my eyes on Floor as well. Will he be getting some successful ganks off? Especially, obviously, towards that bot lane, because it isn't the most mobile bot lane they're playing against, but there are some shields, there's some speed up. Have, obviously, defensive summoners as well to pair up with that. As you said, we can expect a quieter early game. I'm seeing a lot of scaling as well, right? You have some tanks, you have AP mages who want to scale into the game. It is mainly that bot lane we are looking at. But if any lane wants to find a solo bolo outside of the bot lane, who are we looking at then?
Who do you think we're looking at, Duckling? You tell me.
I mean,
let's have some fun.
On has very good base damages. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, there we go.
So it is actually top lane.
We need to work on giving you an opinion, Duckling. I air my opinions too much. I've been too candid today, and we need to go back to having this as a conversation. I agree. I like Ornn's base damages. There's a real possibility, and before Gwen gets strong, I'm all for it.
Let's see if you can abuse that, because I think Nihu, he's normally the player likes to go aggressive, but his Ornn and the way he's been treating recently makes me think that he's not as confident in himself, and he just rather just sit up and scale up. But hopefully, if he finds an opportunity, he feels it's the right one, he will go for it. He will be brave. Fortune does favor the brave in the end. As a Spooder looking for something, it goes in snip. Good damage already. Ghost could be popped if he wants to force a flash potentially. And there is something Nihu needs to respect, as a very early reset has come through now from the side of Uniq.
I mean, I'd like to posit that ghosting that close to the turret is suboptimal. How do we feel?
I mean, it doesn't feel good, but if you ghost, get a couple extra auto attacks, might force a flash.
All right. Okay.
That's my brain speaking at the very least.
That's all right. I just want to get a bit of an insight. Oh. Well done, Antwer. Well done, Cyrax.
Yeah, I mean, not very nicely done by the side of Uniq, using their reset time.
Like they burn ignite.
I mean, this could be really bad for Nativz if they actually go on this, and we're still in the area, and they do realize
need to force
that, so
this.
they do back off.
Yeah, they need to force this crash, though. They don't want to leave the wave here, because otherwise Cyrax and Peterson are just going to absolutely dumpster them in CS, because Remix can't step up to this wave. I really think Antwer should have stayed right there, because if they can hold this wave, they can perma-ruin Remix and Baloo. But now that the Wukong hasn't stayed, they get to force this crash, and then it makes it playable now for Nativz.
Yeah, still trying to hold the wave, but Floor goes in, good damage early on, needs to respect that. Good trade back though. Cyrax looking for it. One more auto. Would have done it, but Remix able to flash away. And it is something that makes you hold your breath down in the bot lane as action continues to flow over the rift.
Okay. You wanted some down and dirty bot lane.
I'm happy.
You're getting the action that you demanded right now. Remix does go back to base. He picks up a full pickaxe. I mean, given the way that lane had gone, I'm surprised he's managed to yield that much gold. But nevertheless, still a good enough position. Cyrax goes back to base, picks up a Cull, so he's already taken one base and just gets that kill fed to him by Antwer on that gank. So I'm really happy that we get to see a bit more time invested into the Varus. But remember what I said, right, about the draft? If we don't see this Lucian Nami get off to the races, it makes it really difficult for Nativz to have any form of early game, and that might set them back just far enough to the point where Unexpected doesn't really get to become that late game rise, where Spuda doesn't get to become that Gwen that finds the turbo flanks, and they just bleed out a little too soon.
And Rude, I know you mentioned that I didn't have many opinions just a couple minutes ago, but I do have the opinion. When you die early on, it's not quite the best start to your laning phase, and especially not if you want to get off to the races and start building up a goal lead. I do know that much.
Valid. You're allowed that opinion. I never said you weren't allowed that, by the way. I want to get to know you a little bit. I feel like we have these conversations and you're like, hey, Rude, tell me this. And I'm like, you know what, Duckling? I'd love to. And then sometimes I'm just like, you know what? Why don't you tell me?
You know what, Rude? That's because I know you're a smart man. And I know my preseason brain hasn't been the smartest.
Okay.
So I am taking, parts of your brain and making you just pour your information into my brain. So my brain, in a couple weeks, can act like I am Rude. I'm basically cloning you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I understand. So this has all been just a simulation for you, basically.
It's been a ruse.
You're plugging in you're just like, yes, writing down the answer to what Rude says here. Yeah, I'll be able to answer that question in future. Next. You never asked me the same question twice, I've noticed.
Exactly, right? It's basically a coaching session right now. I'm not paying for this. You're coaching me, so when I have enough information, I go into solo queue and I climb my way all the way to the challenger rank.
Oh,
I'm going to be challenger 1000 LP thanks to your free coaching sessions right now. That's flawed.
Welcome.
It's making its way down bot lane. Maybe suspect him to start the Drake. Antwer is here as well, so it could be a 3v3.
Spoiler alert, everybody. Lucian Nami demand attention. And you can see both junglers are already here. I don't think either one of them are going to be surprised when the other jungler shows up. Well, they don't have vision of them, but it's like, oh, shocker. The Lucian Nami have got the attention of both teams' junglers. Again, it's just this, can they force the crash or can they hold the wave outside?
Oh, and work. Goes in, no flash on Remix, knows that from the last time, but there is one on Baloo though, and it could be very crucial. Flash forward from Pillarson to try and secure the kill as Cyrex holds on to his flash, knows the ignite is going to be enough. And though down to around 25% HP is flawed. Could look for something, but with Cyrex at full, he doesn't want to take the chance.
It's a battle Lulu, baby. We'll flash in, we'll ignite. You think I won't? Thank you very much, says Peterson. Finds himself a second kill down on the bot side, and for the second time this game, Baloo does fall. Burns the flash to try and get away from the Cyclone, but it's not quite enough. And it was really smart from Antwer right there, actually. He actually waits just out of vision, but within XP range. Leeches level 6 off of the wave, and then commits to the engage. Burns the flash of both of the bot, or burns the flash of just Baloo, but obviously with Remix having no flash, that is a repeat angle that is there for the gank if they want to go for it. And it's just generating more and more opportunities for Uniq, not just through this early game, but through the next 5 minutes as well, that they can revisit that bot lane. Baloo is a Nami with no flash. That is a sitting duck for a chain of corruption.
Oh, it certainly is, as I'm seeing a Uniq bot lane, or not bot lane, Pillarson and Antwer rotate up. Want the Herald at the 8-minute mark. This is proactiveness, surprisingly from the side of Uniq, considering they're the ones in that sense have the most scaling. They've been able to get that bot lane rolling, and this just seems like a good situation. It's currently getting better for the side of Uniq.
And I don't think that Antwer, we could ever say, hasn't been aggressive, hasn't been looking for proactivity throughout the season. My mind runs back to, I think, their game against Ruddy, I think, where he had a particularly deathful Xin Zhao match where, even though you're, really far behind, we're still looking to find those plays to get back into the game. And in that situation, it's going to look pretty bad, but in a situation where you've got the resources and you've got the tools to be able to win out on those fights, start to look really good, and that's what Antwer's doing right here.
Oh, Cyrex has to be careful, pops the heal, just to say stay safe. Playing 1v2 against the Lucian Nami is never fun, but he has survived it. He's passed the test, and now his reward will be a gank from his jungler, but he will also be dove underneath his turret. 2v4. Let's see how they can outplay this as the American theme song plays with the Eagle. Now, though, Antwer spinning around very low. Same goes for Cyrex. One more auto should have sealed it, but it's not quite enough. Now it's Cyrex with a flash forward to find the kill
close
in the 3v4. As you say, it is inches from Nativz getting the kills, but in the end, Uniq went out on the fight.
Oh, one more overload combo from Unexpected gets a double kill under that turret, and then they can reset for Pearson as well. Look at the low HP bar that Antwer walks away with. If there's one more auto attack funneled in by anybody there, He goes down. Triumph procs, and it just makes it all that much easier. Cyrax as well. The entire time he's under fire, but he's auto-attacking. Consistently putting out the damage even in the face of death. Really good mechanics underneath the turret to stave off Nativz and put a 3-0 scoreboard up.
I mean, he held onto the Flash for so long as well, considering they have had many of the fights on in the bot lane. The kill on Baloo, the second kill on Baloo rather, he didn't decide to flash forward to try and secure the kill. He held on to it. He held on to it when he got engaged upon. He realized they weren't going to kill him. He just had to use the heal. And that meant he then was in the situation where now he had the flash when he was able to pick up a free kill. He's now the one with a bounty against the Lucian Nami lane. Yes, he's slightly behind in CS, but that really doesn't matter at the moment. The other lanes are scaling up. This just, as I said before, feels very good for Uniq, who could look to extend their lead with the neutral objective in the Drake as well.
And if they can start to take down some more plates for the Varus, potentially. That's the thing that's missing from this bot lane right here. They've got the Rift Herald for Antwer already. But the thing that's missing from this bot lane for Cyrax, they've got the kills, is those plates. They want to start getting more of a structural advantage over Nativz. It's the one thing that is out of their reach at present. But Antwer has, for a very brief time, made his way up to this top side. It's not a place that he's been particularly familiar with this game, as a lot of the attention of the match has been around that bot side. But you notice, he took that recall at about the same time as Cyrax, who's gone back to base, picked up that Immortal Shield Bow. It's now on that one item hit. It's not necessarily the greatest spike for a Varus, but it's the highest spike that anybody's hit so far this game. If they can make a play around the bot side on this Dragon, perchance, with that Herald going down to buy some pressure in a lane, they're in a great spot. I'll kill it.
As Paul does step up a bit here, holding my breath to see if he would get rid of that, but not in a position where Floyd could punish. 2 minutes before the plates fall, so the Herald needs to be spawned sooner rather than later. But as they move down as a unit towards the bot side, I'm slowly but surely starting to imagine the picture of where this Herald will be placed, pushing in the wave, setting up a potential dive, and Nativz reading this play as well, sending jungle and mid down.
Go on, put the Herald down. Antwer, do it. Go! Press the ward button. What button do you have ward on?
4.
4. Okay.
I haven't
changed that when I first started. I know that's default.
Why would you do that? I still play with lock screen, by the way.
Okay, you're not allowed an opinion anymore. My bad.
And I will say, I know it's not an impressive rank, but I have peak diamond too in solo queue with lock screen.
Yeah.
I mean, that is pretty fair
You would
play.
actually be challenger.
Yeah, I would be challenger, and Cyrax would still be alive, because that is a very, very good wild growth. Flawed is all alone. Goes back in, actually very good punch. But there comes the arrow. They just can't get their hands on him, as they will find his third kill. Oh, there's more people going down. His Remix, who will be slapped by the Pokestick, as Andrew picks up his first kill of the game as well.
Yeah, he's got Divine Sunder, and now this Wukong is unleashed on the map right here, and Uniq are just doing a very good job at answering every single play that Nativz are trying to put down. It's not for a lack of aggression from Nativz. They're looking at opportunities and trying to make the most of them, but unfortunately they just can't find any real fights that are going their way. Underneath that turret, Flawed was so close to finding Cyrax, but again, between Immortal Shield Bow, Wild Growth, and Summon a Heal, I mean, that was still, I think, that must have been down for Cyrax. There's no way he holds it. But there's too much just extra juice that they've got to keep themselves alive, and Flawed, unfortunately, is behind this game, right? There's no two ways about it. Has certainly struggled and not come out on top when the fights in the bot side have come to bear, where, unfortunately, Antwer, like we saw before, 3 assists, was coming away with leeching experience, getting a little bit of extra gold from those kills as well. So really in a good position thus far, Uniq. And the question, not necessarily how do they accelerate the pace of this game, because they're going to be the team that scales a little bit better. They can really take their time with this one. Question is really, how well do they close it out? Because they've got the game in their hands right now. I think it's on them to lose it, or it's on Nativz to make a few really good Hail Mary plays that go in their favour.
And it feels like a very bad day for Nativz. Not because of the way they're playing, but they feel a bit unlucky as well. Like being a couple auto-attacks away from getting the kills, and as you just said, it is still Uniq with the better scaling. So even if you are Nativz, you manage to slow down the game, you get your carry scaled up. It's not impossible to win the game, but you're just never really in an advantageous position because your bot lane has been outscaled. So let's see if they can slow it down and at least bring it to a better game state, or find those outplays, as Paul needs to be careful down here in a 1v3, but pays the respect, just gives up the minions, knows he should not step up here.
And a good amount of restraint here. You know, exactly what you want to see from whichever person you're putting on the weak side. This is a trade that is definitely favourable for Uniq as well. You'll happily sacrifice your bot tier 1 for a mid tier 1 if you're gaining it. And, you know, Paul's going to get the majority of this farm anyway. There's a big sort of double wave crashing into the turret right now. Uniq are also getting more on the map for this also. It's not like we're seeing Nativz translate this push into the mid lane and take the mid tier 1. They're actually opting for bot tier 2 push. If they can get it, that's a bit more gold over, and it, you know, does make a bit more sense, but they're not even going to stick around for it, and, you know, in fairness, Uniq don't go for the turret on top side, so it's just a 1-for-1, couple jungle camps, a Rift Herald in exchange for a red buff. I'm sure Uniq are more than happy with that.
Oh yeah, Uniq are clapping their hands at the moment. They are really enjoying themselves this game. Scaling up. No, living life. They have the core that has been stacked up as well. So if we take a look at the goal lead, I want to see how big it actually is, because the CS almost even 10 between them, but it is still a 1.2k goal lead that has been built up by the core, by the 3 kills. Because in terms of play, it has been pretty even as well. So that's where most of the goal difference sits. But on the jungle as well, Antwer has just been more effective with the action he's been putting out. Flawed, very unfortunate not to have, at the very least, a kill or a couple assists under his belt.
We could be in for, you know what, I have to apologise to the class, okay? Because I said this was going to be a snoozing early game. It wasn't. Both Nativz and Uniq tried to do some good things in the early stages. PLSN.
He's caught out, forced to flash away. Antwer, very good clone to block up a lot of damage as a tidal wave. And the culling had to come through there from the side of Nativz. Still though, not quite enough to get the kill, and it's really unfortunate for them as they just keep missing that extra bit of damage.
Yeah, it's not gone particularly well for Nativz just far. But again, you know, apologies to the team, because this hasn't been a necessarily snoozing early game. It's a mid game that we've gone a little bit slower in, and Spoody, you can see, licking his lips. Oh, okay, never mind.
No, he snipped.
I thought he was about to sit down for like a full roast dinner, and instead he just had like the smallest amuse-bouche in the world.
Smallest what, sorry?
Are you not familiar? Amuse-bouche.
Amuse-bouche? No, I'm Danish, man. I don't know.
So I mean, it's a pre-starter course.
Oh, so appetizers.
Aren't appetizers just starters?
I mean, appetizers and starters are the same thing.
Yes, exactly, but an amuse-bouche is before the appetizers.
So it's like a pre-meal? How many courses?
Because the starter is a part of a meal.
No, the starter is the starter. I mean, that's not part of the main deal. If you have like a 3-course meal, you have your appetizers, your main dinner, and then your dessert.
Yes, a meal. You just said 3-course meal.
Oh.
And then you'd have a meal. So a starter cannot be
before your
the pre to the thing that it is.
Wow. I never knew that, actually.
And amuse-bouche is a real thing. People in chat will know. The French will love it.
I really don't know that I didn't know that, because actually, this is a fun fact. I have actually gone to like culinary school, not like the full culinary school, but like.
How do you know what amuse-bouche is then?
But like it's like week classes I took when I was a kid at this very good cook's learning kitchen during the summer holiday. I don't know how to explain it. It was like a small culinary school, and I have been working as a chef for a week in you know, going out trying jobs you do with the school.
Yeah. This isn't helping your case. It doesn't matter. I've got to flame you on air twice now because of locked cam and not knowing what an amuse-bouche is. There is a Drake. It is live. Uniq have staked their claim on it. Nihus didn't need to teleport down, but Paul felt the need to. They're going to sacrifice the top tier 1 turret, but they're working their way towards an early game win condition, and I love this, honestly, because we haven't actually seen us all be particularly impactful today. I want to see one this game. It's a... Okay. Well, it's the worst soul in the game. The Nativz are fighting.
Spooter behind, and let's see how good damage they're going there. On to Paul, though, locked him up with the assault and battery. And now, though, Cyrix the one dishing out the damage while Antwer assassinate remix in the back line. It was Nativz who decided to fight, and they're the one being destroyed, and losing 2, unable to still get that 1 kill back on the ball.
Yeah, Nativz decided to fight, but Uniq decided to win. They go 3-for-0 in the fight, and they're going to be able to take the Drake on top of that. They have, unfortunately, lost some turrets, so they'll not be challenging for that perfect game status. But they're doing, obviously, like an incredible job thus far. Tier 1 turret in the aftermath as well. That completes the outer sweep of Tier 1 turrets for them as well. So they've got a really good grasp of Summoner's Rift at this stage, where they've still got their, or where Uniq have still got their own Tier 1 turret standing, which gives them just such a bastion to stand behind, right? It's such a good defense point to have. And if we look back at this replay, look at the disengage that we see. Nihus on duty, absolutely defending his mid laner with his life, just knocking up the 2 divers, the 2 potential assassins, keeps them at arm's length beautifully.
You know, how can you not love that guy? He plays for the team. I really, really do love it. And that felt like it was a very decisive fight for Nativz, right? They needed to win this. They took it. They thought they could win it. And they just did it.
I think
and
the
now
thing is,
I'm already 20 minutes in, Rude. I'm starting to grasp for straws.
So I'll give you one.
Okay, give me one.
Ryze Gwen late game. Because Ryze late game, kind of crazy. Gwen late game, not quite as crazy, but still fairly scary. You know, we're in a position where Spooder's actually ahead of his top lane counterpart. I think that fight is one of those where it's easy to fall into a false sense of security, where Uniq could be like, oh, okay, we should just roll every fight. It doesn't really matter how we play it, and then forget to play the fight how they played it. The reason it was so easy was because Nihus was knocking up those important members, getting Flawed and Spooder in a position where they could be taken down. But if Nihus, you know, does something different next fight, you know, goes for Remix, who unfortunately this game just isn't a real threat, it then opens up for Flawed, Unexpected, Spooder to get onto Paul, get onto Cyrax, and start dealing some meaningful damage. Oh. Not the Q. Not the Q.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. He queued straight into his own demise. And that's the Baron, as you say. There's no smite now for 30 seconds on Nativz.
Unexpected does have TP. Spooder is in the top lane, but I guess with no smite, they're just thinking that there's just nothing to be done. They get a mid-tier 1 here, that's probably the best case scenario, but you can already see Paul walking his way over, and with Chaos Storm, he can probably 1v2.
Yeah, that is a very tough situation, you know. I was grasping at straws before. I think all these straws have just been exchanged by cardboard straws when they're like wet and they're soggy, so every time I'm trying to grasp at something, they're just, you know, turning into mush in my hand.
Yeah. I agree. This is getting bleaker and bleaker for Nativz. It is certainly getting more difficult to find the light at the end of the tunnel.
Is that right at the end of the tunnel? Do we know that?
Yeah, no.
Because I'm not seeing any at the moment.
No, neither am I. Like I say, this game has become really difficult for them, and fortunately for Uniq, right, we already touched on the fact that they've got just a really solid late game team fighting composition regardless. Nihus has hit level 14 with no mythic. Bad on play. Remember, you get free upgrades these days, so you don't actually need to, you know, spend time upgrading your own mythics. Fortunately, he's been able to give what I ranked as the worst named mythic item, by the way, to Cyrax.
Which is that again? Cyrax. Oh yeah, the immortal. What? You lost me there.
So the immortal shield bow name, when it gets upgraded, I did a tier list. Me and Middlecott did a tier list of names of the mythic items.
Yeah, go on.
And Blood Ward, which is the...
Oh, that's so bad.
Of it. Blood Ward, which is the upgraded Immortal Shield Bow, we put in Blood Ward tier, which was below everything else because it is such a bad name.
Yeah, that is such a bad name. I really do agree with you. Never mind. I understand why you make a tier list now, just to bash on that name.
Thank you.
That is absolutely horrible. Oh! Atuma, yeah, forget it, it's remixed, doesn't matter.
We're looking for knockouts on Unexpected and on Spooder, but Spooder's top lane, so we'll see.
I'm sorry, that came off really rude. I don't mean to blame Remix in that sense. It's just the 2 win conditions here for Nativz are Spooder and are Unexpected. So if anything would start off a fight, it's an engage on them, and like an unexpected knockup on either of them would allow for Uniq to follow up as they're just choking out Nativz of this game. Spooder is getting something on the top side, but that just means Uniq putting pressure on the 2 other lanes, trying to break open the space.
And they're doing a pretty good job with it, honestly. I don't mind this from Spooder, though, honestly. I quite like that you're trying to generate gold elsewhere. I think that the Baron is just such a pain to try and fight up against that you're going to struggle with it. Okay, Chaos Storm goes down, forces Flood back, and honestly, as long as Uniq are defending these super or these cannon creeps, they're fine to just war of attrition this.
Yeah, and can take up quite a lot of damage from Remix when you really think about it. Still, a bit more than half HP in his pocket. A good EQ cover from Unexpected though will force them to back off. That's the sole point as well. And maybe Nativz want to fight this. It seems like they do. TP in from Spooder. Nihus can follow. Cyrax down to 70% HP, and we're down to half. As you say, very, very deep. It's
TP into the bot lane for Nihus.
But they gave up.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not the last dance.
Understandable,
yet, right? It's
exactly.
They burned all their cooldowns. And then if they'd have kept on chasing, that would have been just an egregious play, honestly. I'm glad that I'm glad Flawed didn't have range to ult. I don't know whether they would have ulted or not, but if they, they didn't have range, so they couldn't. If they did, it would have been bad. So they don't overcommit. They accept that they're going to lose the dragon. They're going to get another fight in about 2.5 minutes for the Baron, or in another 4.5 minutes for the second soul. So it's completely up to them which second soul? Huh? For the soul. Only one soul in a game, Rude Dude. So hopefully they get to take a fight there, and that's kind of their last-ditch effort. We're going to pray that Unexpected hits Void Staff before the Baron comes up. Don't know that Domino, that Spooder is going to finish whatever item that Amp Tome is turning into before the next Baron, but if he does, maybe there's a world with 3-item mages that you can win. We'll see.
And I want to give some praise there as well, as to what you said, right? Because I wholeheartedly do agree that that was not the time for Nativz to fight, and neither is this, as I will say, good damage from Spooder, but it's just not quite enough. They are too far behind, almost 10k, as that popcorn explodes into a pot, and now Pillarsen's caught off the wrong side of Remix. But Pillarsen is very tanky here, considering Remix's damage output will fall in the end, and now it's News. Caught out just a little bit, no one's rotating down to help, they don't care, they just give up Pillarsen like that.
Yeah, that's the support life, unfortunately. KD8 in the bin. Gets absolutely abandoned, and I really like the spacing from Pillarsen as well. Uses the wild growth to interrupt Remix's culling by knocking him up. And then unfortunately for Pillarsen, there's just too much CDR between the Void Quick Blades and Lucian passive. You can just kind of skate all over everybody and have a really good time pressing E every 2 seconds. Then Gale Force as well for extra dashing.
Yeah, it is very fun to play. I still haven't personally decided if I think it's the best. Infinity Edge obviously offers more damage on your auto attacks, but Namoric
it's definitely
the fun. Okay, I mean Namoric. See, so as soon as I have opinions, you're just flaming me for them.
No, I'm telling you what I think.
Okay, I mean you're right. You're not directly flaming me, but
I was giving you my input.
Your opinion does have more
now
weight
you'll
than mine,
know
so you're basically
whenever somebody asks. I played a little bit of Lucian on the Kraken versus Navori, or Kraken versus Gale Force, and then Navori versus IE. I think that you can get away with Kraken and Navori because then you literally get Kraken auto attacks because you have way too many dashes with Navori quick blades, right? We'll see. Remix, can you use them? Nice.
Why would you say that?
What noise?
It did noise.
Yeah. Because it was nice.
Yeah, well, it was a very nice miss there, exactly. You sent that into the abyss. Oh yeah, I mean yeah. Right.
Remix dodged it with the pursuit.
Relentless pursuit, actually. If you want to get the full ability name. Yeah.
I didn't want to get the full ability name. If I wanted to, I would have said the full ability name.
Okay, I thought
Relentless was implied.
Yes, thank you, Rude.
Yeah, thank you, Duckling.
Thank you too, Rude. Now, if I knew your real name, now would be the time I would say it just to add some weird tension, but I don't know it.
I'm not going to dox you. That's fine.
No. I mean, people know my real name. When I went on Neo Masters, I think they just threw out my whole name there, even my middle name, and I never mentioned my middle name.
My middle name is so boring, man. I'm like so. Oh, okay. I thought they were going to chain there. Never mind. I'm North African half, so I have a fairly North African name, and then my middle name is John.
It's John.
Yeah.
Let's see though, John, what happens here as the fight starts kicking off. Floor gets knocked up as he tries to lock down Pillarsen. And then in the front line, Paul is tanking for some reason, but it doesn't matter. He's able to get 2 before Nativz get 1 back. Unexpected flashes, but unable to escape the grasp of News. And now Uniq look to run down this mid lane and take even more of Native space.
I think it might be all of Native space here, Duckling. Uniq are steaming down this mid lane. They've got 1 rogue ranged minion. This is going to be a really anticlimactic push.
Oh, News tanked, don't worry.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The minion is dead now, but so is Baloo as he's in the front line. As Remix tries to step up, but unable to, as he would just be knocked up by News. Now they'll be kiting up, and he's dead. And with that, Uniq in just 29 minutes will take a dominant game from start to finish. There was not enough scaling, not enough time for Native to come back, as Uniq will improve their score to 2-4.
That rhymed, Duckling. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, I used that last time when we casted NLC Division 2 last year, but I just called myself out. But it's still a good one. It works nicely.